Hi friends! In today's lesson we are going to be talking about practicing changing improper fractions into mixed numbers as well as working on equivalent fractions using dominoes. The skills we will be practicing include improper fractions, mixed numbers, and equivalent fractions. Using the dominoes is important when working with children because they can recognize the top number represents the numerator and the bottom number represents the denominator. First, you'll need to collect your materials. You'll need a tin of dominoes, a dry erase board, or a sheet of paper if you don't have a dry erase board, and some markers. We'll start by picking out 3 or 4 different dominoes to represent our improper fractions. When you pick your dominoes, make sure to put the larger number on top so that it creates an improper fraction. Next, write out your fraction so that we know what we're working with. So you have 6/5, 5/3, 4/3, and 4/2. Next, we'll need to change our improper fractions into mixed numbers. To do this, you will need to divide the numerator by the denominator. So 6 divided by 1 is 1. So 3 will go into 5 one time, 3 will go into 4 one time, and 2 will go into 4 2 times. Now when you divide, for most improper fractions, you will have a remainder. Your remainder will represent the numerator in your mixed number. So 5 goes into 6 one time with a remainder of 1. So that is your numerator. And then your numerator goes over the denominator of your original fraction. So it would be 5. So 6/5 is equal to 1 1/5. And this works for all of them. For 5/3, you will have a remainder of 2. And the 2 will go over your 3. So you will have 1 2/3. Same for 4/3. You have a remainder of 1, and it'll go over your 3. So it'll be 1 1/3. For 4/2, 2 goes into 4 an equal amount of times. So your answer is just 2. After you've practiced with 4 or more, you can move on and do other fractions using different dominoes. The next skill we're going to practice is working with equivalent fractions. For your equivalent fractions, you will need the same materials, but this time when you pick one of your dominoes, you will only need to pick one. Also, make sure to put your smaller number on top because it's easier to work with that way. So for this problem, we have 2/3. To change the original problem, you need to multiply the top by the same thing you multiply the bottom with, and that will create your equivalent fraction. Equivalent fractions are fractions that are equal to one another but have different numbers. For example, an equivalent fraction of 2/3 would be 4/6. I multiplied both the top and the bottom by 2 to represent 4/6. You can multiply the original fraction again by 3. So if I multiply 2 times 3, I will get 6. I'll multiply 3 by 3, I will get 9. All these numbers are different, but they all equal the same amount. You can continue to work with equivalent fractions by picking different dominoes and trying to figure out as many equivalent fractions as possible. Thank y'all for listening today as we worked on improper fractions, mixed numbers, and equivalent fractions. Thank you and have a great night.